Taco Bell, an exclusive Mountain Dew flavor that actually makes the dew delicious, but the guacamole tasted like building supplies at Home Depot.
A crunchy taco so perfect I'll physically fight the haters, but a temperature to quality ratio that negatively impacts your meal.
The hexagonal delivery of the Crunchwrap Supreme is architecturally genius, but their stinginess with the beef was egregious. We put our health and our lives on the line to dine at a Taco Bell whose Yelp reviews agree that the beef here is risky at best. 1 hour removed from this meal, and so far we're holding up. Will fortune continue to smile upon us, or has our luck run out? Today, we dive into everything good about actually eating inside of a Taco Bell before covering the not good to see if they're in balance, in an effort to locate the absolute midpoint of chain restaurant dining. This is the Fine Dining Podcast.
Your table is ready, take a seat. The flavor of the day is mediocrity. Wouldn't you like to try a bite? Guarantee it'll be the perfect bite. Fine dining, better than you thought, worse than you hoped. Fine dining, we don't treat mediocre as a joke. Ranking every single place we've been, looking for the perfect 5 out of 10.
Hello, and welcome back to the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. I'm your host, Michael Ornelas, and this is the show where I'm looking for the precisely in-the-middle dining experience, the perfect 5.00 out of 10, because only once you know what's directly in the center can you tell what's good or not good by comparison. Currently, the question I ask, is it better or worse than Cracker Barrel, which sits at a 5.01 out of 10 on the fabled tchotchke of mediocrity, the massive scoreboard behind me on the wall. Joining me today to decide Taco Bell's fate once again is actress, comedian, and improviser Priya Pappu. Hello.
Hi, Michael.
How's it going? Great.
How are you?
I feel the Taco Bell in me way more now than I did in part one.
Okay. You're holding up?
A storm is brewing. It's the high wind alert before the Santa Ana winds arrive. Yeah. It's like the, hey, maybe pack a suitcase. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not evacuating, but I am packed up.
Okay. It's so gross.
Oh, what did you think I mean?
I don't know.
I just feel very like burpy and like, you know, when you eat like a full basket of bread by yourself, or is that not an experience you've ever had?
Yeah, no.
That's how I feel on the inside right now. And I don't think I finished a single item that I ate. I took a lot of bites and I was like, all right, I get the idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to dive into this review of Taco Bell, starting with only talking about everything that was good. Play the jingle.
This is good, done like it should be. The stuff that's finger licking, a stick in the landing. This is good, I knew that you could. This is good.
I want to fill out the low end of the tchotchke of mediocrity. I do. I want to see.
Well, you won't be doing it today.
I want to see what's at the absolute bottom. And I wanted to go to Taco Bell because at the very least, I thought it would be a suspect to be toward the bottom. And while I will say, I don't love Taco Bell after this experience.
But I changed your mind.
I did have a little bit of like... You had a good
experience?
I had a little bit of a reprieve in... I don't think it's a garbage fire of a place anymore.
Then my work here is done.
The bar is so low then. I ended up writing more good things than I thought, but you love Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell.
I'm going to have you start us off. What's your first good thing?
Oh, as I said, I didn't realize how like emotionally charged it would be until I got there. And I was like, oh, where do I start?
You were all tears.
I was in tears. Yeah, I put my shirt on. I loved walking in there.
For audio listeners, she is wearing a Taco Bell shirt. She's not just bragging about, I wore clothes today.
I was like, looking at people, giving them like the finger guns.
The Spider-Man 3 finger guns.
I just, it makes me happy going to Taco Bell because I really love the food. And so I'm like, I get excited to eat it. So I was excited. I've loved it since I was a child.
Yeah.
I cannot physically walk out the door without ordering a crunchy taco because I think it's like one of the most perfect fast food bites.
Yeah.
And I will physically fight anyone that wants to disagree with me. Is that such a basic take?
So you got, was yours the beef taco?
Yes, I got a regular crunchy taco. I didn't even get a taco supreme. And I told you this story. I was laughing as I was ordering because I was like, one of my friends had this long running gag where at any party, any house party, he would show up with like a 10-pack of tacos.
Yeah.
And people would kind of like groan and laugh, but they were always all gone instantly.
Of course.
Because it's like the perfect little snack. And everyone loves them. So I ate my whole taco. I loved it. I added some hot sauce because I also really love all the sauces.
They do have a bunch of hot sauces.
Yeah. And I like to put on like 2 sauces per item, really.
Yeah.
So did a bunch of that.
Beef, cheese, lettuce, no tomato, right?
Yeah. The regular one is
You
just
did not
beef,
go
cheese,
supreme.
and lettuce. Yeah. It's just a simple little guy.
Just a simple little guy.
Yeah.
That's how I get described often. Okay. And if you had to score that out of 10?
Oh, I did score it out of 10. And I scored it an 8.
Okay. So you think that's a great food item?
I think it's a great food item.
All right.
And I said this to you too, like, I know we're just supposed to like objectively rate things, but I just can't. Because if I'm going to spend, God, I should have looked at the price. Is it one? Are they one? It's like
It's cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap is a fair.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like cheap. And I think what really upsets me when I'm eating is spending money on something. We'll talk about this more later.
That
but
doesn't
like,
live up to the hype.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
just like sucks. And I'm like, okay, well, I just spent whatever on this. Like you tricked me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I know exactly what I'm going to get. I know I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, value is something that I don't go into much on this show, largely because it's just so it's so personal
Yeah.
to people. Of like, some people are willing to spend $20 for something that someone else may only deem worthy of $5 on a principle level, even if they both agree that the food is delicious. So I like to offer up the experience that you're going to get, and then you decide if you want that price point for it.
Yeah.
But my lens is not the only lens to view this through, so I totally respect the value factor being such a heavy thing for a lot of people. And it comes with the territory of Taco Bell. It is its reputation.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say the lobby of this place was crisp, clean, dare I say high-tech 2 ordering kiosks. And their soda machine was like 4 nozzles for 12 drinks or 16 drinks or something. So it's like, oh, they've got that ability to kind of toggle. That's neat, you know? And adding to that, I made a New Year's resolution for 2025 that I would only drink water for the whole year. And I knew at the start of the year, one exception I would make would be to try Baja Blast Mountain Dew, which I've never had because I'm not really a Mountain Dew guy. And I've got to say, Baja Blast found a way to make Mountain Dew genuinely delicious.
Nice.
Have you had Baja Blast?
So I've had it before. I think I had a Baja Blast cocktail at one of the cantinas,
Yeah.
which was fun because I think I was like, same kind of thing. I have to try this thing. I typically will just get like a Pepsi or today I had Dr. Pepper. But
That's
I
my
love that you
go-to
loved it.
soda.
Also, I think this is a great point. I think one of the things that Taco Bell does expertly well is like the marketing gimmicks.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the name of the game in fast food, right?
Yeah.
But Taco Bell has done it so well. The Baja Blast, the Doritos Locos Taco. Like, oh my God, I hope that they watch this and they're like, we need to talk to this girl.
We have so many collabs. We've got Cheetos x Taco Bell. We've got Cinnabon x Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We've got Priya Pappu x Taco Bell.
Well, it's like the Baja Blast is like, I don't know if you spend a lot of time on Twitter. It's like
It's a meme.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like so funny. And it's
That you can only get this one exclusive, but it's genius.
Yeah.
On both sides, on the Mountain Dew side, on the Taco Bell side. And as someone who genuinely does not care for Mountain Dew,
yeah.
I really liked this.
What did it taste like?
It was like tropical, fruity, refreshing. I gave it an 8 out of 10,
Nice.
which was not expected. Especially the fact that it's a meme. Usually things are memes because they're a little bit trashy.
Yeah. People say like, I'm not really having a Baja Blast right now.
Yeah. And it's just like, and it's a corny name, which like I love.
Yeah.
I love corny names like kitschy decor in
Yes.
restaurants. I love that kind of stuff. And so the Baja Blast impressed me.
That warms my heart.
Off
I'm
of
really
very
happy to
low
hear that.
expectations.
Okay, now I'm thinking more about like the overall experience. And I will say, like, God, there's probably science and psychology behind how well lit those places are.
A lot of natural light here.
Yes. You feel like you're walking into like a little, I don't know, just like a breezy little sunroof area. I'm struggling
Your
to not
vocabulary
say,
just left your body.
well, I'm struggling to not say the exact things that I've already said, but it's almost like you're in a sunroom,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of natural light. And
Yeah.
you walked in and specifically, the burps, they're getting me. You walked in, you pointed out across the street and you're like, wow, what a view.
Oh, yes. Let me talk about this. Okay, so I'm from Northern California. Something about the Glendale, like the 134, the view on the 134 with all the hills, I think is the most scenic part of LA besides like the beach, you know, like.
Oh, sure. Like just when you're driving that freeway. And, yeah.
I always look for, if I ever get to drive to like Pasadena, I love that. And it kind of reminds me of Northern California because LA for the most part is pretty like, geographically speaking, is pretty like womp, like it's a pretty ugly city.
Okay.
But yeah, we walked in and I was like, God, what a beautiful
nice view of
yes.
Dare I say mountains? Is it tall enough to be a mountain? But you know, it's like it's a range, hills or mountain, whatever you want to call it.
It was really nice. I hope you'll post a photo. So I'm sitting there eating some of my favorite food in the world with my best friend in the like
looking at
with
a
beautiful
smart
view.
and final that if you can kind of squint your eyes and not see beautiful mountains behind it.
No, I was happy. I
liked the view. I have it in the positives as well.
I think the food makes me happy because I have so many happy memories associated with it.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, like childhood, late nights in high school and college, super late nights in college and adulthood where, you know, I've been out all night. We're like, hey, let's get some tacos.
Right.
Even times the next morning where I've regretted my decisions the night before, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get myself a beefy 5-layer. Literally, I'll get out of bed and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to go get some Taco Bell and it's going to be all right.
Do you do their breakfast?
Oh, yeah. Their breakfast is good.
Okay. I can do a separate episode. I just did the McDonald's breakfast specifically episode. So I think I can, at some point down the road, do a Taco Bell breakfast episode.
See, I think the problem here is that you are wanting to rate things very objectively. And I get that because of your scale.
They all have to fit against each other.
I'm trying to compare everything because I'm like, Taco Bell breakfast is good. But if you're getting a fast food breakfast, McDonald's breakfast, you can't touch it. But then it's like, if you're getting a fast food lunch, I would say, if I'm on the freeway and I see a sign.
Fast food lunch, I'm Popeyes or Wendy's.
Ugh.
No.
Popeyes?
Their sandwich is fire. Have you had the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Yes. I got the Meg the Stallion collab. That was Popeyes, right?
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Women supporting women.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't like specifically love fried chicken.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's just not for you.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
You don't have to make a boo-boo face over it. Ugh. Popeyes.
Ew.
I saw.
I would never choose to go to a Popeyes. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think that's like kind of a regional cultural thing.
But also, if you don't like chicken, I mean, I prefer like Dave's Hot Chicken over Popeyes, and the price point is pretty similar. So
I say that, and I love hot chicken. I just yeah.
All right. What else was good? Let's talk about the sauces. First of all, Hooters has the little like wet naps that come in like the little squares, and they have little sayings on them. Taco Bell does that with their sauces. But I don't think like none of these jokes hit.
They're not really jokes.
They're personality quirks at best.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, one of them just says, I do. And then
okay, but people use those in their like
proposals.
Engagement and announcements or whatever, which is funny.
No, it's not.
If you love Taco Bell.
It's not. You're married. Did you do it? Did you use Taco Bell at all in the process?
Okay. I swear to God, the first Taco Bell sauce packet I got after I got engaged organically was an I do packet. And I was like, okay, that's special.
Calm down.
If you love Taco Bell, it's kind of fun. I don't think they're not jokes, but I do think it's another really clever marketing thing.
That's the thing. I didn't see anything on them that I thought was clever. The only one that was like a little bit like at least on brand for what it was on the Diablo sauce. It was like, we double dare you. And I'm like, okay, the hottest one, we double dare you. I like that. Well, Diablo is the hottest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one that just said, first of all, and I was like, yeah, I say that all the time.
No, I hate incomplete sentences.
No, you get to fill in the blank while you're
With
there.
what? With what?
Just whatever you're feeling when you're at the Taco Bell. I don't know.
I don't like this. But I like the attempt at making personality on these packets. It kind of none of them delivered. It was kind of like a weak late night monologue.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I guess these are jokes, or I guess these are something.
You know what I think, though? I think that maybe they need someone to either punch up the jokes or they're just meant to be conversation starters. And I think they should just say that plain and simple, right?
Well, then you know what? I'm going to stop giving them the air that they so desperately crave. But talking about the sauces in particular, I got 4 or 5. I only tried 2. I tried the avocado verde salsa and the Diablo salsa or sauce. I don't know what it's called. I gave them both a 7 out of 10. They both enhanced what I was eating with them. Diablo in specific, I thought was delicious. I know you said you're fine with the heat level, but didn't love the flavor of it. You didn't have it today. I really was impressed how much I liked the Diablo sauce, but also the avocado verde salsa added a lot.
The Diablo one is like a little bit smoky, right?
It was just a little bit, though.
Okay,
it wasn't
that's why
overwhelming.
I don't like it. I think I do notice, like, I'm the kind of person that if I forget or they forget my hot sauce packets, I will be upset because it does make a difference. And I love spicy food too, so I need a little like kick. But I don't like the smoky flavor so much. But I love the hot sauce.
Yeah. What you had the hot level sauce, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a score for that? I know that's like not its own thing, but like
It's
how
probably
much?
like a 7 because it really is just about having the kick. Like, I mean, otherwise it's like sauce in a packet
and some moisture.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Yeah. Especially for the Crunchwrap.
Yeah.
When you went straight into your Crunchwrap and you were just eating it and you were like, this sucks. I was like,
hold on. I didn't say that. And also, I have the Crunchwrap Supreme in the good. In the good category. So dial back a little.
Okay. I needed sauce in
I
it.
just took a bite and I said, no meat again, which I'll talk to you later. One of my items was very skimped, and I got you to corroborate the story.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of I was upset about them skimping.
Yeah.
I think that the construction of the Crunchwrap, I didn't have it right when it was warm, and I wish I would have.
Mm-hmm.
And I will probably go back to a Taco Bell to try it warm. But even as is, they did skimp on beef, but I thought that the construction was phenomenal. This hexagonal shaped folded tortilla with a hard shell inside, like an inner layer, was so satisfying to bite into.
Mm-hmm.
And the veggies did taste fresh. I went 6.5 out of 10. I thought this was a pretty solid, good concoction.
It is gotta be one of the best things on the menu.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it really is. You do kind of have to take like 2 bites inwards to kind of get that perfect bite that has like the meat and everything. But a delicious item. Also, really good to eat when you're driving.
Yeah.
If you need to do that.
And I can see it because
compact.
I expected spill out, and there wasn't much.
Yeah.
Everything kind of stayed in it, and I wonder if that was a specific to the hexagon thing, where like just something about the structure of it holds stuff in a certain way. But genuinely, I thought it was like a cool little compact thing.
Yeah, the innovation is there. Like they are. I would love what I wouldn't give to spend an afternoon in like the test
the
lab.
R&D center.
Yes.
And then you can do some work.
Yeah. I love the beefy 5-layer burrito. I ordered one today. It's another delicious bite. To be fair, it kind of is like a tube full of slop, but it usually hits the spot.
You could describe any Taco Bell item as a tube full of slop.
It's true.
And that is part of why I look down on it.
Yeah. It's kind of just like different configurations of
rolled up and served.
Yeah. But man, a hot beefy 5-layer burrito when you really need it is kind of like a hug. I'm giving it a 7. Because the beefy 5-layer burrito, because I always order it and I always enjoy it. I will say the minute that it sat for a second and got cold, the
fall off.
Yeah, it was sharp. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that is everything for the good for me and for you. So now we get to be a little bit negative, which I won't say it pleases me to get to do. But I will say
he's been waiting all day.
I will say with Taco Bell, I expected this list to be long. And I'm going to be honest, it's not as long as I thought it would be. So play the jingle for the not good.
This is not so good. I'm not quite what you're about. It could have done without it. The stuff that brings down the mood. This is just not very good.
Okay, forced kiosk ordering always bothers me. As someone who likes the face-to-face human interaction, the ability to ask questions, the idea to emphasize, like, hey, please recognize I don't want cheese. I will send it back if it has cheese and be like, can you please make this again with no cheese? So just being able to verbalize that instead of typing it into machine gives me a step of assurance, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I was surprised. This was the first Taco Bell I've ever been into that had only kiosks. Sometimes there's one kiosk, but there's also like counter service.
When's the last time you ate at a Taco Bell versus drove through?
Oh, I typically drive through.
Right.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
I guess that's not special. No, I think it's been a while. I wonder if is that all California Taco Bells are doing that maybe?
I mean, this is the first Taco Bell I've been to in a decade.
Yeah.
But like McDonald's, also same thing, big kiosk. The one like there's a McDonald's right down the street from that Taco Bell.
But can you still order at the counter if
No.
you want to? Oh,
No.
wow. I don't know. There's still people employed that are working in the back though, so I don't really know from a business standpoint.
They're food runners.
Yeah.
When the food's right, they prep it and then they hand it off to you. And if you have a problem, I guess you can get their attention, but they don't hang out at the front desk. They go to the back when they're done.
You know what's funny? The Taco Bell by my house where I used to live in Nashville, I would laugh because honestly, the people working there
Mm-hmm.
were part of the reason I liked it so much. Because like they would sometimes forget things in my order, different things would happen. But I was like, but the people that work there are so nice and they always make me laugh just because of their own cute little personalities.
Yeah.
Like they would always say something funny to me. I was like, I can't even be mad because like I'd come up to the window, looking like garbage or whatever. And they would be like, hey girl, have a great day or, whatever.
Yeah,
It always made me happy. And
like
I'm just realizing
like in
that.
a you need it kind of way.
No, just like in a funny, like they were just funny. Or they'd be like, oh, I'm having like a day. And I was like, I feel you. Like, do whatever you need to do. And I'm just now remembering that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's something about the personal
I love it.
aspect
I love
of
it. I love a rapport with a waiter.
Yeah.
I love, look, I've said this so many times on the podcast. I like to be able to make a dumb joke to break up the monotony of their day because I recognize that they are just having impersonal interaction after impersonal interaction after impersonal interaction. So to be able to make one thing where they're like, hey, this guy today said this one funny thing and I thought it was whatever. I like to offer that, but also I like to partake in that.
Also, to
It's
be
for me
fair,
too.
yeah, definitely. And I sometimes think that even if you don't make what I'm sure is a hilarious joke, sometimes I think just being pleasant, because I know for me, I work in restaurants, like when people are just pleasant to me, I'm like, thank you. Because maybe I was having a shitty day or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think even if it's funny, you were saying earlier, like, I'll chat with my Uber driver. I'm kind of like 50-50. Like sometimes I want to talk, sometimes I don't. But I do just appreciate like the human interaction.
Yeah.
And I think it just reminds me that like we're all just humans. We're all doing our best. We're all like, working hard.
Well, it also goes so far to cover for bad service. I've had so many bad service experiences that I didn't feel any emotion about because the server was just communicative.
Yeah.
They were literally just able to say, hey, I'm so sorry, we're swamped.
Yeah,
or
it just humanizes on both ends.
Just tell me what's up. Don't ignore me for 20 minutes and then finally get to me and then be flustered when I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
Just come over right as you see me sit down and be like, hey, it might be 15 minutes before I come. I'll be like, cool. Now that I know that, I can be on Reddit for 15 minutes instead of trying to figure out what am I doing with my body language that's making them ignore me.
The Taco Bell on Gallatin Road that I always used to go to, they would always forget something in my order, but I could never be mad because I was like,
they're nice about it.
They're so nice. I'm rooting for that guy. Like whoever, like what a nice guy.
Yeah. So, all this to say, not a fan of forced kiosk ordering. I don't like it when it's the only option. That said, the layout of the machine, I thought it was pretty easy to navigate the menus.
Did they
personally
have the menus up above the counter then?
They had like a couple choice items that they were advertising, but no, they did not have a full menu.
Now I'm realizing it was a lot harder for me to order through the kiosk because I was like, I need to look at every item, which I feel like is harder on the kiosk.
Yes, I agree.
Than just having,
Yeah, I'll go so far as to put that in a not good category. And I didn't even recognize it until you said it. But yeah, being able to see a full menu laid out instead of having to go tab by tab. And especially when you have something like get a box, a Lux box, I think is what they call it. And you can get one that has
I got one of those.
2 items. You can get one that has 3 items plus a side plus the cinnamon twist or whatever it is. But some of the items are swappable. Some of them are not. Like I started off trying to get one because I was like, oh, I want to get 3 things. I want to get the Crunchwrap, I want to get the chalupa, and I want to get the soft taco with potatoes. And there was no substitution policy. I didn't realize that they were set items in those boxes.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like any 3 entrees or whatever it is. So that was an on-the-go learning experience where I did have to make up an order and then delete items and reapproach it from a different angle, go more a la carte, which also makes it more expensive. Anyways, now I want to talk about the chalupa.
The chalupa.
First of all, fun little fact, the word chalupa comes from the word shallop, which means a small sailboat. And it's because of the boat-like shape of the shell of a chalupa. I learned that.
That is so cute. Wait, did Taco Bell invent the word chalupa? Okay.
No. But it is adorable. And just the notion of like the texture of this hard shell, not a normal hard shell taco, but like a little bit crispier almost, appealed to me so much. The chalupa was the thing I was looking forward to trying the most. I've never had one before. I got the beef chalupa. It came with lettuce and onion and maybe tomato. I don't remember, but I opened it up and it was basically 90% lettuce and almost no beef, to the point that, like, the Wendy's slogan, "Where's the beef?"
Mm-hmm.
This is where I feel like it had to have come from, even though it isn't. This was an insanely small amount of beef. This was like someone put some in and was like, "Nah, that's too much," and scraped it out. There's no way one spoonful turned into
they were like,
how
we
little
can't
I
give him
got.
all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, but how was it when you took a bite?
Disappointing.
Or did you? Okay, yeah.
Disappointing as hell, because it was all chalupa shell and lettuce, so little beef flavor. I hated it. I was so excited about the shell too, and it tasted like, when you get when you're like a kid and like seatbelts are like at face level, and
that happens to me
and
now.
you like
Yes.
and you like bite it or something, and you like taste what seatbelt tastes like.
Yeah.
That's what their shell tasted like. It was like a little bit metallic.
You got a bad one.
No. They did not have a good showing.
It was metallic. Oh, well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 10 on the chalupa. First, don't skimp on the beef. Come on. I'm gonna put a video. You guys will see how little beef this is. This isn't me being an unreasonable complainer. This is like 8% of the total volume of this item. Maybe was beef. Maybe even less, maybe 5%.
I'm realizing now that as far as like fast food that gets cold, like Taco Bell has a very sharp drop off, because I was sitting there thinking, like, when I eat a cold McDonald's hamburger, it's still pretty good. If I have to eat cold nuggets, they're still pretty good. Eating this
cold
food
McDonald's fries, though, are like, because they need that crisp.
Yeah.
They need the texture.
My cold beefy 5-layer burrito, I was like, I think I'm good here.
Yeah.
So, but when it's hot, it's so good.
Now, one thing that I am shocked they dropped the ball on, I got chips and guac. And this guacamole, you said this definitely came from a tube. I don't want it to come from a tube. I want it to come from an avocado.
Sure, but I'll also take it back. I think that it's crazy that you ordered chips and guac at Taco Bell, because that's so...
It's
strange to me.
It's Mexican.
Yeah, but like I would never
from Glen Bell.
I would never go to Taco Bell to eat guacamole, because clearly it comes from a tube.
I had to know. And you know what it tasted like? Drywall.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was like, it didn't even taste like avocados, really.
No.
It tasted like paste.
And it was like, it had like a sheen on it. It was like reflective in a way that guacamole shouldn't be.
I will say it was not good, but I will also say I would never have ordered that. So
they put it on their menu. It is a valid thing to judge them by. If it's not good, take it off the menu.
Because like they have to just have that in the kitchen, just waiting for people to order it. They never do. So who knows when
people
or where
love
that
guac,
was from.
even like as a topping and as a dip. 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
2 out of 10 for this guac. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
something else not good. So I ordered a Mexican pizza, which they recently just brought back on the menu.
Yeah.
And I was excited. People were excited. I just think they're not very good. And I had a bite of it when it was hot. I had a bite of it as it got colder. I just think they're very saucy. They also kind of just like slide around a lot.
Yeah, it did not look like it had structural integrity.
No. Like it's just, it's kind of like layers of sauce. It's sliding. I don't really care for the crust.
Taco Bell is slop. Taco Bell is slop. In almost every metric.
And it's sometimes delicious slop.
But it is slop. And this looked like slop in a box.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. I don't think I'll be ordering it again, especially because they're about $5, which goes a long way in fast food. So
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, we already talked about it. I didn't like the impersonal nature of the service setup. I didn't like that it was kind of designed to discourage you from eating in. The tables were really small.
And it was the dining room was very small as a whole. Like, I wonder if it was an older one because it felt very small in there.
But I feel like a lot of these big chains do renovate frequently enough to uphold a brand image that if one is outdated, it does end up getting that facelift. So I do think it was like a deliberate change to make things a little bit harder to stay there longer.
I guess one thing to consider, though, is they did have a good amount of outdoor seating. No one was sitting outside because of the air quality, but like they probably just assumed that if you're in California, you will just sit outside.
That is true.
I wanted to, and then I was like, actually, no. Because when we walked in there, it was full in there.
Yeah. That's all for me for the not good.
Cinnamon twists, also not good. I never order those. They came with the box.
Yeah.
Would never order them again. Like it was basically like a little piece of styrofoam with cinnamon on it.
Do you have a score?
Oh, I think it said 4.
4?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
My Mexican pizza, also a 4.
Okay.
I won't order that again.
Yeah.
And cinnamon twists, also a 4, which I'm like, that's the thing. Like, did I still eat 3 slices of the Mexican pizza? Absolutely, I did.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, overall, I'm going to give the service 1 thumb down. And it's not that the team was doing anything. It's more that the setup I disliked. The atmosphere of the place, I'm going to go thumbs in the middle on that. And I think the food for me ultimately is 1 thumb down. I expected 2 thumbs down. So 1 thumb down is okay for me. Before we go into the just there, for those 3 categories, atmosphere, service, and food, would you go thumbs up, thumbs down?
For food, thumbs up. I still love it.
2, 1 thumb. How many? Come on. We're comparing it against all meals you've ever had in your life.
I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up.
Thank
and
you.
I have to say, today changed some things for me.
Well, like your innards are different.
I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up. I'm still a fan.
Okay.
I'm sure I will always be a fan.
Service,
I'm going to give like a thumbs in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't so bad that it would ever keep me from going. Also, if you go to the drive-thru, totally fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure it's a different experience and way more customer facing.
And again, like I never go to a fast food place to specifically sit inside unless it's out of necessity.
And I've done it so many times and it's so odd.
Yeah, well, because it's like,
weird.
What are you expecting? Yeah. So, but no, it was very cramped in there. And the kiosk thing was not my favorite.
So atmosphere.
Oh, I'm going to give atmosphere like a middle to down thumb.
Middle to down thumb.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about the same. Okay, cool. Now we'll just go into all the neutral things. Play the jingle for everything that was just there.
This is a weird one. I'm not quite sure what to say about it. Yeah. This is for the stuff that is just there.
So I got a spicy potato taco, soft shell taco. This was one that just looked and sounded good to me. It was kind of like almost like home fries a little bit. And by the time I had it, it had cooled off a little bit, but the potatoes were still warm. But all the other ingredients were just by nature cold. The lettuce, the onion, and the tomato. And just that mix of temperature. It's kind of like pick one. But at the same time, I don't want hot lettuce. So I don't know what the answer is here. But I do notice that difference. And it feels inconsistent and makes me not love it as much as maybe I could. That said, it didn't taste bad. It did taste fresh. And when I added the Diablo sauce, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. On the whole, I'm going to go 4.5 out of 10. So still middling to me. But it was one that let me down. I guess I thought spicy and potato, that'll be delicious together. Okay, so here's a development I didn't expect. I've been back to Taco Bell 3 times since recording this episode just because I wanted this spicy potato soft taco again. And what I realized is when I went for the episode, they left off the chipotle sauce, like the spicy mayo-esque or whatever it is that goes inside. And it is good. So this should not be getting as low of a score as I gave it in the episode. On repeat visits, it gets an 8 out of 10. So the spicy potato taco can get it. It is the best thing that I had of all the things that I ate at Taco Bell. And I wanted to admit that.
And the potato pieces, were they like kind of like French fry or like?
They were like home fries. They were like little, or like breakfast potatoes.
Got it.
The way you'd like dice them up and.
Okay,
yeah.
I've never had that before.
Yeah, I give it a soft recommend. I would eat it immediately if I were you because of that.
As I said, I am fairly low maintenance when it comes to food. The one thing I do care about is food temperature and only because it makes food taste so much better. Basically anything. Like I'm the kind of person, I'll sit down to eat, I'll get up and I'll reheat my food only because like it makes it taste so much better.
Yeah.
And Taco Bell I feel like is like the best example of this. Like have I put Taco Bell in the microwave before? Yes, I have.
Taco Bell puts Taco Bell in the microwave. Like you're not doing anything different than the restaurant.
I just mean like I'll reheat it when I get home because I'm like,
yeah,
and it makes it taste so much better.
Yeah. Okay, for me, in just there is the cinnamon twists. I remember these from my childhood, and they would come with the box, and like my dad would order a box, and I'd be like, "Get me one taco, and can I have your cinnamon twists?" And I'd get them, and I remember them being like hotter and crisper and fresher, and it just seems like somewhere along the way the recipe has changed. They're still very wispy. They don't have a rich flavor. Like it's very empty feeling.
I agree. It was almost like styrofoamy. Like it was this kind of.
The taste was just like not right. And even the cinnamon itself tasted a little, not like it had gone bad. That's not a thing that really happens with cinnamon, but it did taste a little, off. It left me with an aftertaste that seemed unfamiliar given what the food item is. I went 5.5 out of 10, still slightly above average, but enough for me to just say, it's just there. It's whatever. I don't need it. I would eat them again, gun to my head, but, I don't need them. The chips on their own were fine. The guac is what really brought them down. Chips are chips. 5 out of 10.
I have to say, in my entire life, I don't think I've ever ordered chips at Taco Bell. It just would have never occurred to me.
That just seems like the de facto side that you get at a fast food Mexican place. You try their chips and salsa or their chips and guac. It's just what you do.
I don't know. I just always think like...
You may not get sides. Like, it seems like you just don't get sides. You got a bunch of entrees and then the cinnamon twists.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I just don't order sides because I'm like, I'm getting tacos.
Yeah.
I'm getting crunchy tacos. I'm getting soft tacos potentially.
I always want to get something from each category of the menu. So if they have sides, I want to try a side. Chips and guac seemed like the most distinct from the other things I had ordered. So that's why.
Well, that's a good point.
Why I got that. Because I'm not going to get the nacho fries because I don't eat cheese.
That reminds me, somebody in a Yelp review mentioned that like nachos were where can I get nachos except Taco Bell? I was like, literally anywhere else I would order nachos from before I went to Taco Bell. That's the thing. I love a good like nachos at like a bar or whatever. Not at Taco Bell.
I wouldn't know.
Here's the thing.
But
everyone needs to just ask me what to order and I will tell you. There are 4 things that you should order. They are delicious. They never miss. And if you stick to that, you will love Taco Bell as much as I do.
Crunchy taco, Crunchwrap Supreme,
beefy 5-layer burrito, soft taco if you're feeling wild. That's about it.
Yeah. And then the other thing I want to bring up, Cinnabon is just a slut with co-branding. They have items that in the past have popped up at TGI Fridays, at Applebee's, at Pizza Hut, at Subway, and now there's a Cinnabon coffee. And I'm just like, how?
There's also a lot of Cinnabon, like, they've done like makeup collabs too.
That's crazy. But the coffee at Taco Bell specifically, I was just like, at some point, just say you're putting cinnamon in. Not everything needs to have that cinnamon. And I love a Cinnabon, but calm down. This is like when you find out, like you have that one friend from high school and you're like, they have how many kids? They have 8 kids. They're out of control. Slow down. You're going to forget their names.
I think it's just a smart marketing decision.
I don't know.
Get that name and that trademark out wherever it can be.
It's too much. Anyways, that for me is everything that's just there. Do you have anything else that was just there about that dining experience?
It did seem very just like stripped down and
Yeah.
devoid of personality.
Yeah.
And I think the kiosk thing is part of that.
And this is where I'm like, I want
Something.
When you think back of what the old Taco Bell used to be,
Yes.
and it made a choice.
Am I allowed to talk about this now? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like if you look at a retro Taco Bell with that like pastel ombre like coloring and the booths and like that was a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And I think that they modernized it so much that it like lost personality.
And I think they assumed people were tired of the old thing.
Yeah.
Because they probably aged enough to where it's like, oh, we need to replace the upholstery.
This is
Let's
like-
redesign. And it's
right.
like, no, don't redesign. Just freshen.
Yeah. Because this is more like modernized, I guess. But now that I'm
They're all
realizing
doing it.
I walked in and there was like nothing, not even a person to interact with.
Nothing flavorful, like from a
And like
personality standpoint.
really not a lot of color. I feel like Taco Bell was like known for their like,
Bright.
purple. Yeah. Like,
And it's still on the sign outside, but once you go inside, that theme kind of leaves, other than these like, bright yellow, bright purple, and I think there was like a green print or painting or whatever it
Mhm.
was on the wall. But again, they're of things that just don't mean anything, so they don't stick with you.
Yeah.
And the vast majority is just like almost sanitary,
mhm.
medical
Sterile.
like
Yeah.
surfaces. And it's just like, am I supposed to put on the like thing where the
A
little-
lab coat.
No, when you're at the doctor's office, like the paper sheet
Oh,
that
yeah.
covers you and like your butt sticking out and back.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I supposed to wear that in here? Like, I feel like I'm about to get like,
Because there are some restaurants I feel like I would be like, okay, whatever. But Taco Bell, I almost feel like Taco Bell has like a personality. And so I want to like feel that when I'm walking
like
in.
the restaurant doesn't match the marketing.
Well, I just feel like in my mind, I'm like, oh, like this is the Taco Bell personality just because it's been a thing
Yeah.
like for as long as I've been alive, And I did not feel that personality. I did not
Yeah.
interact with that personality today.
It wasn't there.
Wasn't there?
Okay, well, we need to put all of these factors together into a numeric rating so that Taco Bell can go up on the tchotchke of mediocrity. But before I do that, Priya, this is your first time on the Fine Dining Podcast. You haven't been to, this is now my 96th restaurant that I've
Amazing.
gone to. I'm very calibrated. I know how to rate Taco Bell against the places I've been to.
You are calibrated. I will say that.
You are not.
This was very hard for me.
So to that point, I need you to define your low end and your high end. So I'm going to stop at the calibration station.
Calibration station, comparing this meal to the best to the worst. Calibration station, chugga, choo-choo.
So Priya, the way this is going to work, I'm going to ask you to calibrate your scale by telling me about the worst dining experience you've ever had and the best, so that we know what your 0 and 10 are. And then Taco Bell will fall somewhere on the spectrum in between those. Start with whichever one you like. Don't feel like you need to have like a crazy story, but if you do, I'll hear it. But like, don't feel pressure to be like, I have to talk for 5 minutes. If this is 30 seconds, it's fine.
I thought long and hard about this. And at the risk of sounding like an asshole, I think to me, what makes a dining experience bad is spending money on something that is just not good and you feel like you've been kind of like tricked or taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And like where it had the potential to be so much more. So like, for example, I think this can happen a lot when you're traveling. Like if you're like, okay, I'm just going to go to this place and then it sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say for me, my worst dining experience was I went to Italy. And the first meal that I had there was, because it was like late at night, it was like the hotel.
It was Taco Bell in Italy.
Oh
with
my
horse
God.
meat.
I was in Milan and it was like on my way to like my rest of my trip. So it was like in the hotel restaurant in Milan.
Yeah.
And I think, and the food was like not good. I'm sure that it wasn't cheap and it was like pasta, but it was just like knowing that I had spent the money on it and I was there and I was like, and the entire country of Italy is like outside waiting for me and I'm like eating this meal.
In a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. Hotel food is always a risk.
Yeah.
Because it's just not their primary business. Their primary business is shelter.
Yeah.
If you want to be more sure or more likely to have a great meal, go to a restaurant and a restaurant alone.
Yeah.
I think.
Because then it's like, okay, I should have just eaten like the granola bar in my purse at this point and like tried again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think like...
What do you remember what about it made the pasta so bad?
I just think it wasn't good. And I think it was more just feeling like I had been like...
Like the headspace of I'm in Italy, all the pasta should be amazing?
Yes. That's what makes a dining experience bad to me. Because for like, I was trying to think, I was like, I can't think of a time that I've ever had like bad fast food. Because at the end of the day, if I'm spending $5 on something, like whatever, I'll forget about it.
Have you ever had like a really bad
me.
experience at a restaurant because of the service or the company you were with or something that
Honestly,
happened or that you witnessed or no?
Nothing that sticks out really in my mind. Because I think for me, it's more about like, but when I'm describing this kind of story, it's happened to me multiple times.
Yeah.
Because that's what really gets me is I'm like, I spent a lot of money on this.
And it's just devastating
like,
to not live up to it.
Yeah. Like it's not what I expected. Otherwise, if I go to somewhere else and I have bad service or whatever, it's kind of like, okay, well, whatever. Like,
okay. And then your best restaurant experience, your 10.
Okay.
Do not say Taco Bell.
No. And then my best, okay. I love a small plate wine pairing experience.
Okay.
I love small plates because I'm the kind of person that when I go to a restaurant, like I want to order everything on the menu.
Right.
Like I just want to try it all. Like I want to try like one bite of everything. So small plates are a great way to kind of do that. And then wine pairing, I love wine. I don't really know a lot about it for real, but when someone like professionally pairs things with
like,
wine,
hey, this brings out this and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a cool experience. I also like love wine, and it's true. Like it is amazing when it's like paired correctly. So went to this restaurant in Whitefish, Montana called Cafe Kandahar. This was a special occasion, really small restaurant. It was in the Whitefish Lodge, which is like a beautiful historic hotel.
Another hotel meal.
Yeah, right. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
your
that.
Your best and your worst.
Like literally like the polar opposite. Yeah, because this is a place that I had even like researched it. I had to call and get on a waiting list. I think there were like 8 tables or maybe less.
Yeah.
Reserved months in advance. And then had a really special dinner that was that had wine pairings, and all of the courses were seasonal and also kind of had like a local, flair to them. Like we had trout something because we were in Montana. And then I remember specifically, I could care less about presentation. Like I am not a person that's like, oh, like play.
Certainly when I prepare food, presentation is a 0% factor for my own meals.
Even when I've gone to some nice places before, I never remember presentation.
I'll say this. I like it when it's cool. I don't care if it's not.
Well, I don't really care. And I also, to be honest, I don't find it memorable. And that's why this is like one of the instances that I can remember, which is why I think it was so special. One of the dishes was, it had like wildflowers all over it because it was wildflower season. They're beautiful. It had like wildflowers placed on it, and it was so pretty. And I love flowers, obviously. And I like took a picture, and I was like, this is so cool. So I think to me, the fact that I remember how this plate looked makes it really special.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my best.
Your 10.
Yes.
All right. Somewhere between shitty pasta at a hotel in Italy and wonderful small plates at a hotel in Montana lies today's lunch at Taco Bell. So we're going to hear all about it as we give it a final rating.
Final rating.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. It is time to reveal the final score.
Okay, Priya. We've talked a lot about every possible
aspect.
Taco Bell on a 10-point scale to 2 decimal points. How does it fall for you?
Yes, Michael, thank you so much for asking. I'm giving Taco Bell a 6.25.
So 6.25. Yeah, what are all the factors that lead you to calling it good over mediocre because I don't know. Small tables, weird kiosk forced thing, food cooled off, bathrooms that didn't impress, only a few items that really hit for you.
You're really editorializing here.
I'm just curious.
I think
you Your rating's set in stone.
Yeah.
I'm not changing it, but I just want to understand.
Not only is it set in stone, I tattooed it on my body.
Prove it. Unless it's like, you can't. But where would you get a Taco Bell tattoo? Would you commit to a back tattoo of the OG Taco Bell logo, just
Honestly,
right across your shoulder
The
blades?
logo is pretty cute.
Yeah.
A little bell.
Little bell. Like right behind the ear, or one of those inner lip tattoos. You just
No, it'd probably be like on my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
I would get a little taco. You know, I'm giving it a 6.25 because the truth is I just really like the food.
Yeah.
And if I'm driving, that's where I'm stopping.
Is it your like legit go-to?
Yeah, and I do. I'll
There's
go
not
to,
a rotation.
There is actually. Yeah, I like McDonald's a lot too, but it's pretty much one of the two. Like,
Interesting.
and when I haven't had Taco Bell in a while, like today,
I was mad.
No, I was excited.
Mm.
I was excited. I was like, I'm going to eat some food that I love.
Yeah.
That crunchy taco. You know what? Throughout my life, a lot of things have changed, okay? Presidents, partners, climate. One thing that hasn't changed, that crunchy taco. I have loved it since I was a child, and I love it today.
There you
And
go.
it made me happy to eat it today.
I believe that. That to me feels like a passionate validation of your own score. I accept.
Yeah.
I did not have the same experience as you. I do not have the same nostalgia for Taco Bell. What I will say is, while I expected an experience that I would call on par with White Castle, it did not give me that.
A one?
I expected a bad experience. And what I got was a less than average experience that was fine and manageable.
Okay. Give me the numbers.
So for me, Taco Bell, first of all, the food does go bad too quickly. Not go bad, but underwhelm too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
This lobby ain't sexy. There's nothing about this where I'm like, yeah, oh man. Like my third highest ranked restaurant is Casa Bonita, which are you familiar with Casa Bonita?
Yes, but your whole podcast is about comparing these two. I cannot compare these two.
It's an experience.
I would want to hang out there. I don't want to hang out at Taco Bell.
But yet that is what we're rating.
Okay.
That is what the thing is what is it like to eat at Taco Bell? Not what is it like to eat Taco Bell's food, but what is this whole...
Okay, that's fair.
What is this whole brand offer? And for them, it is the food, and most fast food places is just the food. They're not putting a lot of thought to the experience, but this show is about the experience. So for me, it's quite a bit lower. That said, Baja Blast put Taco Bell on its back and climbed out from the depths and got at least partway up Everest.
Our Father who art in heaven, Baja be thy blast.
3.41. 3.41, I think, is so much higher than I thought this was going to get.
Below Sizzler.
Below Sizzler, but that's a sit-down restaurant.
I love that all the fast food restaurants are higher than this.
Well,
and by love, I mean, that's crazy.
No, but that's my score.
Okay.
Its score here will be the average of the two.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
So when we put your score with my score, Taco Bell goes up on the tchotchke of mediocrity at a 4.83.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah. It tied an entire food court. The Burbank Town Center food court also scored a 4.83. So Taco Bell is carrying the weight of 6 food court restaurants.
Because of my nostalgia and my emotional
largely
pull,
because
literally.
Because of you. I do think it should be lower, but that's not how this show works. This is a democracy, and because I am a feminist, equality. Our scores factor in equally. That said, Taco Bell is underneath a 5.001, which means it is officially less than mediocre.
Less than mediocre, not quite as good as Cracker Barrel.
And what that also means is Taco Bell was not the perfect 5.00 out of 10, which means this search needs to keep going. I need to go somewhere next week to see if I can find the perfect 5.00 because I need to know what is that litmus test against which all things can be compared to determine if they are good or not good. So I am going to turn to the You Must Bowl. The You Must Bowl is a bowl full of restaurants that I will draw from to determine where I go next week.
Do you want me to draw for you?
No.
Oh.
Priya.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Tradition must be honored.
Is that what it is?
Next week, I will be going to
Dairy Queen Grill and Chill.
Priya, thank you so much for coming on to the Fine Dining Podcast and joining me to review your personal baby, Taco Bell. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me.
Actually, what I called it was one of the great passions of my life, and you are so welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun. Also, it warms my heart that you had a better experience than you thought. That's all I can ask for.
I will say markedly so. I expected to hate the food, and at worst, I was like, I don't love this.
Hate the food, never speak to me again.
Well, that's happening regardless, but that's on your end. I've already seen you block my number in your phone.
He hates women.
No. It's the other way around.
Will you go back before it's been 10 years again?
Probably.
Okay.
I am curious about what a hot Crunchwrap is like.
Oh, it's so good.
And look, if they do a salsa verde Doritos Locos taco, I'm there opening day.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I'm
there opening day. Tell people where they can find you on social media.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at queen_pre_. That's PRI. And that's the best way to stay on top of shows and whatever else I'm up to.
Yeah. PRI as in Priya, not as in pre-workout routine.
Eating Taco Bell. That's my pre-workout routine.
I do believe it.
That's a great way to just...
I do believe it. To just get amped. Awesome. Well, you can follow me on social media at Fine Dining Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Come interact with me there. I now have a Discord, so come find me on my website. Join that server. We'll have some fun chats, and I'll figure out. I'm very open to suggestions. So if there's other cool things that Discord's capable of that you want to see me do, tell me, and I'm here for it. We did not find the most mediocre restaurant in America. The search does, in fact, continue. I'll see you next time. Have a fine day.
The search continues. We still need the perfect five. The search continues. Like and subscribe. The search continues. Our journey did not conclude. The mother effing search continues. Write us an iTunes review. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and make it 5 stars, huh? Come on. Follow us on TikTok. The same on Instagram. All the socials at Fine Dining Podcast. We have a website, finediningpodcast.com. Buy our t-shirts, then put them on. And don't forget, you can always suggest where we go next. Okay, we're going to find it. Mediocrity. The search continues. See you next week. Hurt my throat a little.
Have a fine day.